Hello, Chicago. This is Jerry Vasilatos with Chicago Corner, and I'm here today with Jamal Green at the launch of his My Turn to Own Homeowners Mortgage Initiative presentation. And Jamal, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. And thank you for also having my Chief of Staff, Donna Michi, on as well. It was an amazing interview.
It was very, very informative, and we're following up now with the actual launch of the website and the presentation covering what this initiative is about. We're going to showcase the presentation after our little intro here, but can you tell us how long have you been working on putting this program together?
Yeah. Let me just first say, it's been important to me in the communities for many years to build wealth. And one of those ways is owning a home. Just last year, I was fighting the largest bank in the world, worth $3 trillion, because they were not lending to neighborhoods that were of color, I'll say. And I fought them, and they came back and gave up $1 billion to repair their lending practices and acknowledged that our fight was the right fight. And so from then on, and this path, it's always been, how do we build wealth? We hold the institutions accountable. That's one thing. I'm great at that. But it's also offering a pathway and partnering them with everybody that they need to be partnered with so that they can get to the finish line. And that's what this is about. I had the pleasure of being contacted by the CEO, George Newberry, of AHP Mortgage Direct and AHP Servicing, who's been driving home this mission for many years as somebody who did everything to keep people in their homes and stop them from going all the way into foreclosure. And it was his mission and vision to say, hey, I see what you're doing. I wrote a Cranes article. He saw the Cranes article. He said we should partner up and figure out how we can work together. We assembled a great team, brought on some great folks to put ideas together on what that looks like. And now we're at the brainchild of it, My Turn to Own. And this has just been amazing work for over the last month for folks who really are driven and passionate about this, who came up with ideas on how we do it, what we do. We have the great partnership of advocate attorneys and debt cleanse, and many more folks who are going to play a role in every piece of the homeownership process to get people over the finish line. Because my thing was, we can't say no. I don't care where they are in life, what's going on, we cannot say no. So if they got credit issues, help them. If they need documented income, we're going to help them. We're going to help them with everything. We will never tell them, bye-bye, you have a great day. Why? Because that's what they're used to. They're used to folks just saying, no, your credit's bad, no. Because everybody's selling something. They're selling a product. And they're able to determine who they want to sell their product to. We're not selling a product. We are marketing a movement to build people. And the product is just something we're using to get you all the way through. And that's what this is all about. My Turn to Own, everybody can own, and we're going to get you all to the finish line.
There's also a component here helping people understand their credit to
100%.
Clean it up so they're very well equipped once they go into figuring out next steps for working with brokers, working with lenders to find that first dream home.
Yeah, education is number one. I think that because we're marketing a movement, what we've done is we've said, how do we educate the people? So whether it is going into the neighborhoods, going on the blocks and having sessions and bringing community members to just sit on a block club and sit down and teach each block and go block by block, partnering with those community organizations who have footing in these communities. We're going to be doing tours and taking folks to homes that are in the market and teaching them strategy on how to own these homes and what all of these things mean so that they can know how to become a homeowner. And we're going to take them all the way through the process. Their credit, the attorney is going to be showing them, okay, this is what's messing up your credit. This is what we need to do. This is the process. This is what they're doing to you because you probably didn't know. So education is at the forefront of this initiative because we want people to be in the know so that they can teach somebody else. We're not taking nobody and just taking them through the process and they get something and they don't know what happened. We're educating them every step of the way because at the end of this, I'm going to ask you to mentor a few people because if we want to reach millions of homeowners, to get to 75%, we need to give over 6 million homes out to folks around this country. That means that we need you to help mentor. We need that group to help mentor, because we can't do this alone. This is an all hands on deck effort to get everyone into ownership.
And this is a nationwide initiative. It's not just here in Chicago.
No, we're in 49 states, and the only last state is New York, which we'll be in New York in the next couple months.
So who else is My Turn to Own looking for? I know in the conference you were talking about looking for agents, brokers, others to partner with your organization or join your organization.
Everybody. Okay. The realtors, the home inspectors, those construction crews. If you want to build a construction crew, now's the time to do so. Landscaping companies, you want to build a landscaping company, now's the time to do so. We're going to start holding everybody accountable that we're working with to hire from these communities so that these people can rebuild their own communities. So we're looking for anybody in regards to the home buying process, from insurance, from attorneys, etc. Because and know that we'll never have enough partners, because we'll always be growing. If we have 10,000 people right now we have to service, and another 10,000 people come in the door, we don't want to be in a position where, oh wow, we're overwhelmed. We can't respond how we need to be responding, and we don't have enough people to partner with. We need more and more people all across this country to join this initiative and say, I'll help. This is what I'll do. I'll help with the taxes. I'll be a realtor. We need the action-minded folks to step up right now.
Now, part of what's covered in the loan program also is money that goes towards repairs if some of these properties are distressed and need to be rebuilt, renovated, or okay.
Yeah, no, that was one of the big things that I push with our partners is we have to make sure that because these homes, if they're lower priced, right, that means sometimes something's wrong with them. In other cases, it's not. But sometimes something's wrong with them. You got a $50,000 home, maybe the roof needs to be done. Maybe the end needs some cosmetic things so that it can be livable to that homeowner. And we want to be able to say, all right, cool, $50,000 home, you need $20,000 of work to put into it. You get you a $70,000 mortgage, and then you'll have a home that you really want to live in because you did some of the work that need to be done to it. So that's a program that we'll be offering as well.
And the program is open to everyone. People of all colors, people of all backgrounds.
Anybody. Nobody is X'd out. I just said we will never tell anyone no. So no matter who you are, no matter your background, no matter the neighborhood, no matter where, no would never be the answer.
Fantastic. Well, I want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
And thank you very much. And I hope the rest of our audience enjoys the following presentation.
The question of housing is one of the major problems this country faces. By and large, blacks live in substandard housing. Those who manage to fight their way out of it frequently pay a large penalty to do so.
I came from Birmingham, Alabama, but I came to Chicago for a better living and a job. I bought here, this house, in '58. It ain't nothing to brag about, but it's mine.
My name's Clyde Ross. I was born in Clarksville, Mississippi. I bought this house in 1958.
I moved in this house in 1957. It was mostly a white area. And when they said that the niggers was coming, they didn't say black, they said the niggers was coming. And they just start moving away. Mostly everyone that was black, they had been sold a contract. If you missed the payment in 3 months, they could take the property back. No lawyer, no nothing could help you. That was it.
There are blocks like this scattered throughout the Lawndale section of Chicago's West Side Ghetto. The people who live here bought their homes from real estate speculators at double or triple their value, and they bought on contract because they couldn't get conventional or FHA mortgages. Under the contract, the buyer makes installment payments at high interest, but he bills no equity. If he defaults on even one payment at any time during the contract, he loses the property and everything he's paid into it.
Go pay $26,000 and the house was worth $12,000. That means I was overcharged quite a bit. And the contract situation was so bad until, if something broke down, you had to fix it. You had to pay your water and gas and electricity and the taxes and everything else, but you didn't have no ownership.
How could we be charged like that if that wasn't a law? And how would the law let them do this? But they said it was their property. They had a choice to sell it at whatever price they wanted to. And if you bought it, then that was on you.
Worked 3 jobs. I worked at Camel Soup, post office, and I delivered pizzas for 4 to 5 years. I get home at 10 o'clock every night, leave home at 6 o'clock every morning. Kids be asleep, they don't see me. And when they did see me on the weekends, I tell them something, they look at their mama and say, well, should I do it or should I not? Who is this guy, I was a stranger in my own home because of this contract thing. Really a stranger. I said, now, this is not going to work.
These people who have cheated us out of more than money, we have been cheated out of the right to be human beings in a society. We have been cheated out of buying homes at a decent price. Now it's time now. We got a chance now. The Contract Buyers League have presented a chance for these people in this area to move out of this grip of society, to move up, stand on your own 2 feet, be human beings, fight for what you know is right. Fight!
I really believe that, ultimately what we're after is some kind of communication among human beings, but that can only be effected when people can approach each other on the basis of equality.
Yeah, but even though you are keeping within the law, this is really war, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
The college students and I went up and down the streets and asked people if they bought on contract. And we discovered that the average overcharge was $10,000 and then computed the monthly payments so that we knew that black folks were paying a race tax of about $20,000 per family.
You would just go to their house and ask them, is you on a contract? Some of them say, I don't know. Some of them didn't want to talk to you. And they would say, no, I'm on a mortgage. But when they bring the paper, I know it wasn't no mortgage because that's what I had, a piece of paper. Everybody practically was on contract.
People on the west side and the south side were being blamed for things that were not of their own making. This is the best example I can think of institutional racism. White folks created the ghetto. And it drives me crazy today even that we don't admit that.
The people of Lawndale organized the Contract Buyers League, and during the past year, the league began urging large numbers of buyers to withhold the payments on their contracts. By withholding the payments, the league has managed to renegotiate, enabling the buyer to build equity and saving him an average of $10,000.
There were 550 families in the payment strike. People knew how to handle pickets. People knew how to handle you telling their neighbors. But when you're hitting them in the pocketbook with a payment strike, that was serious business.
They said, well, you got to pay this money, it's $260 every month. Nuh-uh, we ain't paying you nothing until you get this contract right.
They came up, rang the bell, still in bed, and the wife went to the door, they served her with a paper, and then they came on in.
What did they say to you?
They said they were going to Victor's.
And where's your furniture now?
Out on the street.
What do you plan to do? Do you believe that you should forward it and pay it like you were doing before?
No, I won't. I won't give them the money.
We just wanted to get a fair price for the house, you know, and we wanted the mortgage where we could have ownership of the house. And the contract buyers brought us to a point where we could understand that we could do something about this.
The peoples of CBL have come together. No matter what happened, we are fighting for one thing, that is justice. And believe me, as long as we stick together and keep growing in large numbers like we done now, something got to happen.
I've always wanted to own my own house because I worked for white people when I was in the South, and they had beautiful homes, and I always said one day I was going to have me one, and I finally did.
The house was paid for. No more fright of losing it. It felt good. It really felt good.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about the program, just a tad bit, and then I'm going to transition to the next gentleman that will be coming up to give a little bit more about what the program has to offer. It's your turn to own. I can't press it enough. Ownership is the way to go. Our goal is to turn ownership into the new norm. Ownership, some way, is a pathway also to generational wealth. And that's something that we all already know. Tell you a little bit about what we offer, where the My Turn to Own initiative is concerned, is credit restoration, and we'll get more into that as well. Also, we also offer microloans, $5,000, and we'll get into that as well. Also, credit builder programs. We'll talk more about that later on. And also, down payment assistance, and on and on. The My Turn to Own initiative is not just for a certain level of people, a certain culture of people, but it's for everyone. Our overall mission is to raise the rate of home ownership to 75% for all. Bringing up, I would like to talk a little bit about a gentleman that I know. He's an international known community advocate and also a protester, political strategist, and a former mayor candidate who has been on the spotlight of many platforms. You get where I'm going with this. You get where I'm going with this. He's been on the corner of Chicago, CNN, Fox News, and more. He has challenged trillion-dollar corporations, Chase Bank and more, demanding the equality for all. I present to everyone, Jamal Green.
First of all, clap it up for yourselves, everybody. Clap it up for yourselves. Clap it up for yourselves. Today is such an important day. Happy My Turn to Own Day. This is, hey, clap it up, clap it up. Let me first just acknowledge my team. Everybody that's been here to put this together. Can y'all clap it up for them?
My many team members out. My chief of staff, Don Amici, first. Clap it up for Don Amici. He keeps things going. My assistant, Alion's here. Where's Alion? My other employees on the other side, Maya, who does so much work with the marketing and putting all this stuff together. See where y'all. All right, Africa Porter in the back as well. I want to thank all of our partners, our great sales manager, Debt Plans, Daniel. Sarah, I ain't forget about you. You just came on last week. Sarah, I knew it for you. All right, and so many more who are all doing their part. This is an all hands on deck effort to get folks in homes. And I'm gonna start real quick by saying this. I was just looking at that video, and for the last couple of days I've been thinking about when we transitioned over from slavery. And when we transitioned over from slavery and they said that we were free, they also said, but those clothes, we still own.
Yeah.
We still own those clothes on your back.
Yeah.
Y'all free, but we own those clothes. And to look all of these years later to see the laws that they put in place to shut us out, make it to where we can't live the American dream. Last year, I fought, he said it, the biggest bank in the world, because they were not lending to folks in the neighborhood. A neighborhood that was majority black, probably got on average $1 million over a 6-year time period in homes. And then a neighborhood that was majority white got $1 billion in that same time frame. And it was mind-boggling to me to see the numbers. To see, and I came to the table and said, what is shutting us out of owning a home? What is shutting us out? Folks, when they look at crime, they look at violence, they look at all these situations in inner cities, they always say this one quote, they always say, it starts in the home. What's happening at home? Let me tell you something. We don't have many. We don't have many. We don't have a lot of foundation in these neighborhoods. Folks are in survival mode. You heard what that father said on that video. He talked about it. I can't even be in the home.
Yes, yes.
Because I'm in this contract paying all of this money. This is a time where we have to understand that all of us can become homeowners, and we are going to fight tooth and nail to make sure that no matter where you are in your life right now, no matter your income that you have coming in, no matter your credit status, no matter any of the barriers that you think is holding you back, I'm going to tell you this. We are not going to tell you no. Can we clap it up for that?
Yeah.
We are going to make sure that you are a part of this process. If you got a little bit of work to do, we're going to help you get your credit together. If you are self-employed and you are not documenting your income, we're going to help you get your income documented. If you are somebody even in a program and you're not ready yet, we have folks and companies who came forward to say, listen, we'll buy the home and they'll pay the payment for a couple years until they're ready to buy it with no interest. This is an all hands on deck effort to make sure that no one is redlining their neighborhoods. We have to rebuild these communities and create generational wealth. Right. When you are talking about home ownership, you're talking about lower monthly payments, you're talking about building equity. You're talking about stabilizing your income, your family. This is the American dream. It's no reason why we're in the 30th percentile range for blacks, early 40s for Latinos, but for whites, over 71%. We have to bridge that gap and make it to where everyone can own a home, no matter where they are, no matter their neighborhood, no matter where they come from. This should be a right in America. And so we got to get involved. So what I've done is I came aboard a company with that mission. A company that says, J-Mall, this is what we want to do. J-Mall, let's do it. A company founded by George Newberry, who's going to come up, he's going to wave, just wave, he's going to come up in 2 seconds. I'm going to bring him up in 2 seconds. And somebody who fights each and every day to not only help folks get into a home, but to help folks keep their home. So if they're in a financial situation and they can't pay their mortgage, his company helps them keep their home and do everything that they can. This initiative we have to take advantage of. When you're talking about home prices in these neighborhoods, you got over 1,000 homes right now on the market in Chicago that's under $100,000. Now, we're the only ones in the market that will give you a mortgage for those homes. So if you are somebody in your home and you say this home is $50,000, but you know that a bank will not give you a loan for $50,000 because they don't see it as profitable. We're going to give you that loan. You talking about is $50,000 and you need $20,000 of work so that you can rehab a little bit, get it up to where you can live in it. That's going to be included in your mortgage. We are going to make sure in every way we make you a homeowner, you can pay your mortgage, and we can show you how that benefits the community. See, it's something about pride, y'all. Say pride.
Pride.
When you own something, you got a little more pride. Am I right? When you own a home, you care about what's going on in that block. Am I right? When you own a home and somebody drops some paper in front of your house, you feel a little bit different. All right? They out, it's all loud. Now you feel a little way, like, hey, what's going on? That's right. Hey, Jackie, what's going on over there? That's right. You want to meet your neighbors. Yes. You want to build community. And if we want to build community, we got to have folks who have a stake in that community. Not folks that are living in survival mode, using their whole check to pay rent, barely at home. Kids raising themselves. That has to change, not just in Illinois. Let me tell you guys, this is a national movement. And we are licensed in 49 states. When will we be licensed in 50? By the end of the year. By the end of the year, 50 states. 49, no. We'll get to the last one in a minute. All over the world. So, before I bring up George, I just want to let y'all know how important this is because, number one, here's the first barrier. When they talk about barriers to owning a home, the first barrier in these neighborhoods is folks' mindset.
Wow.
Folks' hope.
Yeah.
If they don't ever think that they can become a homeowner, then that's a problem. That's a barrier right in itself. When I say ownership, they automatically walk away.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because they like, well, I'm making minimum wage or my credit not. They're going to create their excuses for themselves to say, you know, I can't own a home. And then they procrastinate because life happens. They're surviving right now. Life happens. So 20 years later, they're still renting, still paying crazy amount of money for rent. It's time to change that. My turn to own is going to change that. I'm telling you guys. Let me hear y'all say, my turn to own.
My turn to own.
My turn to own.
My turn to own.
All right, so I want to bring up the CEO, George Newberry, who had this on his heart and wanted to make sure that we can fulfill this mission. And he's going to give you a couple minutes on his passion and how, let me just say, we have partners all over the world who want to be a part of this movement. Clap it up for that. This is an all hands on deck effort. And my quick message to everybody that play a part in the community, from the politicians to the corporations, everyone involved. This is a movement we need everybody to play a part in. If you are an employer, we're going to come to you and help you create an employee assistance housing program so that you can start to put money into a fund to help with down payment costs for your employees. Yeah. Can we clap it up for that? This is a serious moment. And what it does is it allows you to have employees who have ownership closer to their job, lower transportation costs, lower child care costs, lower your turnover rate for your company. This is a benefit to all of the corporations. And we want to lure more corporations in these neighborhoods and let them know we have folks living in these neighborhoods and owning these neighborhoods and they want to work for you. Those organizations like CHA, Public Housing Authority, we want to go and let folks know that they can become homeowners. Did y'all know that y'all can use vouchers to own instead of rent? Not a lot of folks knew that. Not a lot of folks know that. This is that opportunity. You have a voucher, we can show you how to become a homeowner instead. I want to make sure that everybody is involved. Our politicians, we're going to be doing grassroots efforts and our aldermen in these wards, corner classes. It's a big thing for my chief of staff. He loves corner classes where we're going to go straight to the block and going to show folks that they can become homeowners. We're going to put them on a bus and tour them to homes that are available and show them how it's attainable for them. Because we got to educate. That's number 2 is the education. That's the other barrier. The education on home ownership.
Information.
What does it mean? What does it mean? What does equity means? What does it mean to own a home in your house and you have equity in your home? How can you utilize and leverage equity? What does that mean? And we're going to educate them and show them strategy every step of the way. It's my turn to own, y'all. And I'm telling you, this is the time. Yep, it's just that easy. So, I want to bring up George Woodbury for helping to lead this mission. Give him a round of applause. This is a great mission.
Thanks a lot, everybody, and for coming out. Aviance, could you go to the prior slide real quick, the one with the map? Okay, so this is an FHA map. So this is the Federal Housing Administration backed by our federal government. These red sections, these were neighborhoods that were predominantly minority populated. So the FHA went through each neighborhood across the country, and what they did is when they found a neighborhood which was mostly minority, they drew red lines around it and they called it hazardous. They didn't say minority owned, they didn't say Hispanic population, black population, they just said hazardous. And they said because these neighborhoods are hazardous, we are not going to make loans in these neighborhoods. Now before this, there were some white families that lived in some of these neighborhoods. But the FHA said that we are not going to make loans. And this is our federal government starting in the 1930s and all the way through 1968. They would not make loans in these neighborhoods. So white families in the neighborhoods, they would move to the whiter neighborhoods. And these neighborhoods, no mortgages, made it very, very difficult to buy a home. As a result, as you saw in the video, many families bought these under contracts or simply rented homes, unable to build wealth. But white families moved to the less hazardous neighborhoods, the ones where financing was available. And this sparked an explosion in wealth for white families. Now the unfortunate, sad statistic is that between 1930 and 1968, 98% of loans backed by our federal government went to white families. And there's nothing against white families. I'm half white, half Hispanic. So it's not like they were doing anything wrong, but our federal government was doing something wrong. Now 1968, Again, 38 years of this. 1968, they finally outlawed discrimination. And I was born in 1965. So it's embarrassing to think that when I was born, it was legal for a bank. If my mother, who was white, went into the bank and wanted a loan, and she was identically qualified as to my father, who was Hispanic, the bank could say, yes, we'll give the loan to the white person, but we're not going to give a loan to a Hispanic or black family of equal qualifications, same credit, same income. The banks could legally do that when I was born. It seems like ancient history, but it's not. Now finally, in 1968, this is all outlawed. This cannot happen anymore. The laws changed. Now you would think, okay, great, this will change things. But there were so many, from 1930 to 1968, so many white families built wealth. So by 1968, the average white family, for every dollar the average white family had in wealth, a black family had 15 cents. And you fast forward to today, and it's pretty much the same. So why is that? Between 1968 and today, now it's no longer legal to discriminate, but the wealth has not grown for minority families, especially at the rate of white families, and is barely different than when after 38 years of legal discrimination that was sanctioned by our federal government. So why didn't it change? Well, I mean, people will say these are the big impediments to homeownership. One is lack of a down payment. Now, many white families, and again, it's not against saying anything against white families, or just stating statistics. Many grandparents, many white families today, their parents were homeowners, their grandparents were homeowners. Unfortunately, many minority families, parents are renters, grandparents are renters. So a white family needs a down payment. So obstacle to buying a home, number one, down payment. Many families can get a gift from their parents. But if a black family, the black parent has 15 cents for every dollar that a white parent has, it's a lot tougher to gift a down payment to your child. And the reality is, for every dollar, and I'm not sure the exact statistics, but for every dollar that a white family earns in this country in income, minorities will earn less. And so it's not surprising that many families have an obstacle of down payments. Now those contract for deeds, or land contracts, whatever they had in the video, that's been going on for decades, that still goes on today, and this is predatory lending. These are payday loans. You see a lot more of those on the south and west side than you do in the suburbs. Buy here, pay here car lots. These are subprime auto loans, just like they had subprime mortgages. These products often set up people to fail from the day they get the loan. And as a result, it should not be a surprise that many families of modest means have credit issues. Set up to fail, surprise, they fail because you're in a product that many a times you are not going to afford. Just like these families, you can see. The dream, they were sold homeownership on a dream. They really had a contract, and the dream, they were taken advantage of and overpaid, and many times could not reach the dream. But many times it was not their fault. They were put in a contract that set them up to fail from day one. So this still happens in the form of payday loans, title loans, so many different financial products that are sold as, hey, this is a solution to your problem, but it turns into a much bigger problem. And you go back, so why is the homeownership rate? Why is the wealth still pretty much the same, and why is the homeownership rate hardly increased since 1968? Down payments, credit, and income. So here's the homeownership. The homeownership right now for white families is close to 75%. For Hispanic families, right around 50%, Asian families, right around 60%, and African American families, right around 46%. And the problem is, since I see these statistics several months ago when I actually did a similar presentation, since then, white family homeownership has gone up by about 2%, and African American homeownership has dropped by 2%. So it's going the wrong direction. So I had an interesting question from a reporter yesterday, and he said, because he looked at our pamphlet and said, hey, you're saying that you can help people who have bad credit, who maybe have low income. You can help them become homeowners. He said, I've heard this story before. And it's true. This story was told 20-some years ago. Wall Street concocted a product and said that we are going to increase homeownership for all. And they came up with a subprime mortgage. And these subprime mortgages would often start out at a rate and payment that were affordable. But after a couple years, the rate would go up, payment will go up, and they became unaffordable for many families. And this sparked the housing crisis of 2008, where millions of families, disproportionately minority, lost their homes to foreclosure. And I don't know the exact statistic, but I think a black family of identical credit and income, I believe, was 8 times more likely to get a subprime mortgage than a white family of identical qualifications. So many originators disproportionately targeted minorities with subprime mortgages, which set them up to fail, much like the families that were set up in those videos. So the reporter's question was, hey, I've heard this story before. What is different this time? You're going to take people who have credit issues, you're going to take people who have modest incomes, and you're going to help make them homeowners. Now, what Wall Street did is they said, hey, we are going to lower the standards for mortgages. We're going to make it easier to qualify by saying we'll accept credit issues, we'll accept lower income, maybe even no down payment, maybe we don't even require any documentation of income. That's a good thing, so they said, because that will help families become homeowners. But again, they sold families on the dream of homeownership, and millions of families took the bait and lost their homes to foreclosure in the subsequent years. And many people, it was tragic. Families across the country of all races, but again, disproportionately minority, were being foreclosed and locked out of their homes. And you can just imagine being a child, and now your parents who were working, it's just like in these videos. You see your parents struggling to keep their home that they now own with a real mortgage. These were real mortgages, they weren't contracts, but a mortgage that was predatory, set them up to fail, and now they're being locked out by the sheriff. Again, things don't change. You saw a similar thing here where you have law enforcement, locking people out, putting their belongings on the lawn, telling the world, like, hey, this family has failed. They did not make their payments to the bank as agreed. Wall Street did not get their cut. They are locked out and put out on the street. So why is it different this time? How can we take those same families and set them up to succeed? So here's how we're going to do it. We are not going to lower the standards. Every loan to this program will be underwritten to Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, or other government standards. And this time, you say, well, why trust the government? Because historically, it's been difficult to trust. But these loans will be fixed rates, 30-year loans, and just because of what has happened in our country, the interest rates today are so low. We can get you a loan. We can get families loans of 3%, maybe even a little less than 3%. These loan amounts, the only difference that we're offering here is we are doing 2 things. One, for families in modest neighborhoods, we are offering loans as small as $5,000. And people ask, okay, well, $5,000 loan, where can you find a house for $5,000? What's that? There are some. There are homes for $5,000 in this country, and there have been homes for $5,000 in Chicago. Certainly, we've been doing this now for 6-7 months in terms of originating these micro mortgages, and we've done them as low as $19,000, $20,000. Most of them are still around $50,000. Loan sizes that most banks and other lenders, as Jamal shared, do not see as worthwhile to make. And it's not, I don't think it's a racial decision, it's simply a financial one. We can't make enough money on a micro mortgage. As a result, we're not going to do it. So most banks, most originators have said, hey, we are not going to make a loan that's less than $100,000, that's less than $75,000, that's less than $50,000. So if you're trying to buy a home of $40,000, today it is very, very difficult to get a loan. So that's number one, is we're going to make small micro mortgages. Number two is we're not going to say no. Now it doesn't mean you get a mortgage right away, but it means that we're going to help you and hold your hand on a pathway towards homeownership. And this is whether you're looking for a $50,000 home or a $250,000 home. It really doesn't matter. The issues are the same. If you have credit issues today, you may have good income, enough to buy a $250,000 home, but you don't have the credit. So let us hold your hand on a pathway towards homeownership. And to be clear, this is not, these loans, we need to get you to the point where you can qualify on all of them. Down payment, credit, and income. And that income needs to be documented. So if you are a hairdresser, if you are a handyman or plumber, or anything where you don't necessarily get a W-2 or a paycheck, that's okay, but we're going to work with you to help make sure that you can document your income. And it may take 2 years worth of income where that money's going in the bank, that money's getting reported on taxes, and now you can provide evidence that you do make this money and you do qualify for the mortgage. This is not going to be what happened in the subprime mortgage days, where they simply said, hey, just, write out a profit and loss statement, say you make this money, or put some money in the bank and pretend like this is what you made over the last several years. This isn't pretend, this is real. If you don't have a job, we're going to help you find a job. We'll connect you with job training programs that can help you find a job. We're hoping to create jobs through this program with some of the developers and some of the partners in this program. But so we need to raise you to the point where you can qualify and set you up to succeed. So again, it may take 6 months, may take a year, may take 2 years, but our goal is to get you to help you become homeowners and help families across the country become homeowners, because that 75%, let me go that slide. So African Americans have the lowest homeownership rate by race. But also, it's not just race, it's income. So the lowest homeownership rates in our country by income are very low and moderate income families. Those of wealthier families are much more likely to become homeowners. But many times they're wealthy because they were homeowners, and their parents were homeowners, and their grandparents were homeowners. So this process will not be easy, but we need to disrupt what has happened over decades and help families who aren't homeowners, parents weren't homeowners, grandparents weren't homeowners, to become homeowners. And again, it will not be easy. This will take work, take time, effort, but we will help you, and that is our goal. All right, thank you.
All right, clap it up. So, he just told y'all, these are not subprime mortgages. So anybody that hears what we say gonna automatically say, oh, that percentage rate must be high. No, it's not. It's actually either at the market or lower. So if you got a $50,000 mortgage, you're not going to get a higher percentage rate because of the home size. All right, so that's key. Folks, he talking about creating income, because we got to lift the income. That means that you guys, if you buy homes and need a little work, that means we're going to have to start building up some construction teams and create some jobs. We're going to need some landscaping. That means we're going to start having to need some folks on the landscape. We're going to need some folks to, whether it is from roofers to fencers, we are going to create the jobs and help folks in the neighborhoods rebuild their own neighborhoods. This is not a situation where you're going to go and become a homeowner and somebody from out knows whoever coming in and doing all the work and benefiting while the community is not benefiting. We are going to change that. Let me just say real quick, I want to acknowledge someone in the room who is a very close friend of mine, also rated #1 developer in the state of Illinois this year, David Doig. Clap it up for David, y'all. And now if y'all go over to Walmart off 111th and all of the land and Pullman and Mariano's and Bronzeville, Whole Foods in Inglewood, he's helped develop all of those projects. But one thing he does each and every day is he develops homes in disinvested communities. So he develops these homes, and they can range from $125,000, depending on the neighborhood, on up to he's now building 1,000 new homes in North Lawndale right now. Yeah. And so with developers, they just want to build. They just want to build the homes. We can build them. That's what we're good at. We go get the land and we build the homes. But J-Mar, we need y'all to find the buyers. We need to find the buyers. We built the homes. And so now we're going to be working hand in hand with developers to come in where there's vacant land to say, oh, okay, you guys are doing so good building up homeowners, getting them ready. We got thousands of people that are pre-qualified, whether it's at 50, 100, 200, they're ready. David, we need some more inventory. And David's going to go and he's going to build them homes because he got the capacity to do it, all right? So this is all hands on deck. Let me y'all say all hands on deck. All hands on deck. Say all hands on deck. All hands on deck. That means you play a part. Yeah. So once we take you through this process and you close on a home, you got to go and get 5 other people. Right now, matter of fact, you got to go and get 5 other people and tell them, we need you a part of this. But then when you close, we want you to mentor somebody else going through the process. Yeah. We know it's going to get hard for some folks who get discouraged. They be like, oh, they want me to get this or this paperwork or this bank. We already know this is how it goes. So we need you to help mentor and hold people's hands just as we're doing with you. So if you get over the finish line, we want you to grab a few people that's qualified for homes and you take them to the finish line. So what I want everybody to do real quick, I want everybody to grab their phones. And everybody watching, we got hundreds of people watching on our live streams that are on. So we see you and we hope you are ready as well. I want everybody to grab their phones. And I want you to go to myturntown.com. myturntown.com. Now, when I said all hands on deck, I also meant the realtors. I got any realtors in the room? All right. See some realtors in the room. That means that we need you passionate about this as well. We know that you may not make the highest commission on a $50,000 home, but you're so passionate about rebuilding communities that you'll take 10 people with $50,000 homes and the volume will help you in your real estate journey. Because no matter if you got a $5,000, $10,000 home or $200,000 home, we need somebody to help them take them through the process. So realtors, we need you. myturntown.com. Y'all on the website? It look good? Yeah. Shout out to Alex, one of our employees. He's not here. But shout out to Alex, doing great work on the website. So myturntown.com. What I want y'all to do is, if you are interested in buying a home, I want you to fill out the form. If you are a realtor, go to the realtor page, fill out the form. If you're somebody that want to volunteer, you want to help teach, you want to help teach finance, you want to use your influence to help folks wherever you are, employers, I want you to fill out the form on the page that you need to go on. myturntown.com. And what we've done is we have hired and still hiring, and we'll get to questions in 2 seconds. We have hired and still hiring home advocates who will be there to walk you through the process. So yes, we are still hiring because we're going to continue expanding the team so that we can meet the need. If we want to get to 75%, that means we got to help 6 million people get homes in this country, y'all. Let me tell y'all, we ain't got the staff for that right now. But we going to get there.
Yes.
That's why it's all hands on deck. It starts somewhere. And so we start here with 10,000 new homeowners, and those 10,000 go to 5 other people, we made 50,000. This is an all hands on deck effort, y'all, and we have to start somewhere. So, I know folks got questions, and I'll take a couple real quick before I bring up Mark Dan, who is our head attorney at Attorneys LLP. Is it Attorneys LLP?
Advocate.
Say that again.
Advocate.
Oh, advocate. And what they do each and every day is they fight for you. You got credit issues, you got creditors coming after you for this and that. They fight for you. And then, at the end, they make them pay your legal fees. They fight for you. So, we're going to bring him up, but I know I had a couple questions in the back real quick. I know. All right, go ahead.
My current the website is not working. Database connection error.
Y'all got an error message? Y'all done broke the site that quick? Dang, everybody going to it at one time? It was working all day. Y'all done crashed the site. That's what I'm talking about. I see all y'all done crashed the site. Stop that. Yeah, I'm like, I know it's been working. Yeah, all right, so y'all crashed the site. Everybody that's watching on all the live streams, give it a few minutes. Get the site. Look, George already checked out. Figure out why the site, it just crashed. All right? And I want y'all to fill out on the website so that somebody can reach out to you. Any questions before I bring up Mark? All right, y'all. Mark Dan, he was Attorney General, wasn't he? Former Attorney General for Ohio. All right, now. All right, clap it up for Mark Dan.
So I'm a recovering politician, so you're going to have to cut me off today. But, you know, on this issue, as George pointed out, politicians have failed us. They failed us as not just the folks that have been affected, but the whole community. Because the whole community suffers when there are neighborhoods where there isn't a substantial amount of home ownership. The banks have failed you. Wall Street has failed you. When I was Attorney General, there was a company called New Century Mortgage. They were going door to door in the African American neighborhoods in Cleveland and signing people up to mortgages that they knew were designed to fail. Sucking up all the equity, people who had lived in their house or paid their mortgage for years, got them to refinance the loan, promised them lower payments. The contract didn't ultimately say that. And it was so bad that one of the first things I did when I got elected Attorney General is I went to the court, got an injunction to stop them from foreclosing on people in Ohio. Now imagine how bad that had to be. Here's the other thing that everybody needs to understand. Over all these years, from the Jim Crow laws to the laws that the Nazis wrote, the folks that the oppressors have always had lawyers. And in this country, the banks have lawyers, those subprime mortgage companies had lawyers, they had lawyers to foreclose, they had lawyers to come up with these crazy schemes so you could originate a loan today and shift all the liability to somebody else tomorrow. You had lawyers that collaborated and continue to collaborate with keeping people down, keeping people from meeting their goal of home ownership, keeping neighborhoods in this state and in my state in Ohio from becoming what they can be and offering people a place to live where they want to live. So this has been a long process, and I'm so happy to meet Jamal and have him be part of this and his team as well at this point. George and I started talking about this a couple of years ago, actually. And I am a lawyer, I represent consumers. So when I left the Attorney General's office in 2008, I started a program to organize volunteer lawyers to represent people in foreclosure. and I picked up about a dozen foreclosure files, and at that time, I was horrified by what I saw. People were trying to foreclose against homeowners when they didn't actually hold the note, that they weren't the right person to collect the money. They didn't have the right to enforce the mortgage. And we went to court and stopped a lot of people from being able to do that. And I worked very hard to build a law practice where we were able to help consumers stand up to their mortgage companies at first. Because as important as it is to get people into homes, it's also important, in particularly in minority communities, to keep people who are homeowners in their home. Because there's a lot lined up against them. A lot of those predatory subprime loans are still out there. And when something goes a little bad, like, I don't know, a pandemic, all of a sudden people's ability to make the payments changes. And the same bad paper is out there waiting to trap them. And those guys, believe me, they have lawyers, they all have lawyers. So the question for me has been, as I built this practice, what I've tried to do with advocate attorneys is to do for individuals what I did for the state of Ohio as Attorney General. And that is to develop lawyers who represent working class people throughout the country. If they don't correct it, which happens a lot of the time, then we're going to sue them. When we're going to sue them, not only are they going to give you some money, and not only are they going to correct your credit reporting, they're going to pay our fees in doing that work. And we can do that effectively for you and profitably for the lawyers that we've recruited into the Advocate Attorneys Fellowship Program. So these are people that are as entrepreneurial as the clients who want to make their life better. You don't want lawyers that are lazy. You don't want lawyers that don't feel like they have to work hard in order to succeed. So we've got a certain mindset going on. And there are really actually pretty good consumer protection laws in this country. In Illinois, there's something called the Illinois Consumer Fraud Act. It's incredibly powerful. And almost any business that mistreats a consumer could be sued under the Illinois Consumer Fraud Act, whether it's in a credit transaction, whether it's a payday loan, whether it's a mortgage company that's cheating their customers, whether it's a mortgage company that's wrongly denying somebody a loan. We can sue them and recover damages for you, punitive damages, which will make them not behave better in the future, and the legal fees that it takes to get there from A to Z. Then there's dozens of federal consumer protection laws. After the last housing crisis, Congress passed something called the Dodd-Frank Act. The Dodd-Frank Act empowered this new agency, the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, to create rules for how mortgage servicers are supposed to behave, how mortgage originators are supposed to behave. Those rules are strict. Those rules are written. And those rules have to be followed. And when they don't follow it, then we can bring a lawsuit against the company that's not doing their job the right way they were supposed to in federal court and recover your damages, recover statutory damages, and get our attorney's fees for doing the work. So we're going to be taking it's like the old starfish story. You know, that guy walks on the beach and throws a starfish in and said, well, you know, how are you going to, what good does that do? Well, it was really meaningful to that particular starfish that he got back in the water. Okay? So we're going to take people one at a time, but we're also using this body of people that we're meeting along the way to do impact litigation, to bring lawsuits against companies that cheat people on a big scale. Sometimes companies cheat people out of a little bit of money at a time. Sometimes it's not just a company. Sometimes it's the government. And we need to hold governments accountable. We need to bring fair housing cases. We need to bring Americans with Disability Act cases. But what we have available is a lawyer who's licensed in your state, who's experienced and has a plan, and will make a plan, an individual plan for each person in AHP 75, or My Turn to Own, which is a much better name, I might add, in My Turn to Own, to get them to the finish line. So just like the folks that have been oppressing so many people in this country who use their lawyers to do it, you're going to have lawyers on your side who understand these laws and who know how to hold people accountable. And not only that, most of the time we'll try to make them pay our fees as well. So we'll get you through the process and we'll guide you. And so one of the checks and balances around here is me, because I sued those subprime lenders, both as Attorney General and as an individual lawyer. I'm not going to let this process do anything that's harmful to consumers. And I wouldn't be a part of it if there was any chance that it would be. So we will hold all the players in this pathway, whether it's debt cleanse and overseeing the legal services plan, basically legal insurance that you acquire as part of this deal, whether it's the mortgage company that's going to ultimately make the loan, whether it's the appraisers that are going to appraise the property. We'll hold them accountable too, not just the folks that are oppressing you on the way in. And once you become a homeowner, then Advocate stands by to continue to help you to make sure you stay a homeowner. And I know I'm getting the hook here, but just one more point to make. 2.3 million people in this country, as of today, are in forbearance on their mortgages. Anybody here in forbearance because of the pandemic?
Yes.
Yeah. So people who couldn't make their mortgage payment because of the pandemic, they haven't been making a mortgage payment, some of them for almost 2 years. The mortgage companies have a very strict set of rules for what they have to do to get those people back on track. Okay? My expectation is that they're going to have a very hard time following those rules. So for those of you who are homeowners now, debt cleanse can be a benefit. Working with advocate lawyers can be a benefit, because there's going to be a process that's going to go on to modify those loans and to get people back on a regular payment plan. And you've got to have expertise. You've got to have the firepower to hold people accountable, because believe me, your mortgage company's got lawyers right in the office. And so you need to have a lawyer at your fingertips as well. So I congratulate you, Jamal, on this enterprise and all of the people that have worked so hard. We are so excited about being able to continue to work, not just with all the folks in the pathway here, but with the individuals, and to celebrate those homes. I expect an invitation to dinner.
Yeah.
Obviously, you knew that though already. Or bake me a cake at least when the time comes. And that's the kind of clients that we want to have. We want to have that's what we're training our fellows to do, so that they're part of you become part of the family. And when you have the next problem, or the next guy tries to screw you down the road, you have a phone number you can call where you can reach an actual lawyer, licensed in your state, who understands how to protect working class people. And I think it's about time that was available in this country.
Thank you so much, Mark. We need more tax relief. Let me tell you guys, I'm going to put up a post today of all of the different people we're going to need. And we're going to need many, many people in all these fields. So I can't have one tax person. I can't have two. We're going to need hundreds, right? We're talking about the volume of people coming into this program. We need people who can handle volume, and we need lots and lots of different businesses or folks like tax preparers to help out. All right, so we will give you a referral when you come into the program, but we need more and more tax professionals, more realtors, right? Housing inspectors. We need so many folks so that we can get folks in homes and really, really be all hands on deck.
All right, the next question. Will this program help people in bankruptcy?
Will it help people in bankruptcy? I'm going to go ahead and give it to debt cleanse. Donna, Daniel.
You want to give it? Well, yeah. Mark.
Oh, Mark. Oh, yeah, that is bankruptcy. Yeah, that is right. My bad.
No.
Who you suing, Mark?
Right, yeah, so who we're suing. That's right. That's right. So there's two things to think about there. And this is the hard part. You go to a carpenter, he builds you a wood house. You go to a bricklayer, he builds you a brick house. You go to a bankruptcy lawyer, he's always going to put you in bankruptcy. You go to a lawyer who sues banks, and I'm always going to sue the bank, or I'm going to want to sue the bank. We are training our fellows differently, and so the folks that you'll be introduced to through debt cleanse to as your designated attorney is going to be somebody who understands that there's a time for everything. There's a time for bankruptcy. Yeah. Sometimes a bankruptcy can put a person in a better position to own a home. In fact, you could file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy today and in 3 or 4 years qualify for FHA or Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac financing, maybe even 2 years in some circumstances. So that's, it seems like a long time, but it's not a long time. It's when you get old like me, it seems like a lot short time. But it's it's understanding what the right strategy is. And this is why this program is so important. This is not a mass-produced way to help people. It's an individualized program for each and every person that's served by Debt Cleanse, that's served by Advocate, that's served by My Turn to Own. It's going to be, everybody's going to have a different set of problems. We are associating with bankruptcy attorneys that can do those cases, who we trust, who we can put you in touch with to do it. We don't make any money. I don't share fees with bankruptcy lawyers. I'm not allowed to do that. But I have bankruptcy lawyers that I trust, and who I also trust that when they start peeling the onions away of your bankruptcy and find out that people have wronged you, that we can, even in bankruptcy, bring those lawsuits on your behalf and stand up and turn the tables on them.
All right. Let me also say, if you have debt, come into the program before you file for bankruptcy if you don't have one, all right?
Because you may not need to file.
Because you may not need to file. And anybody that asks me if they should file bankruptcy, 99% I want to tell you no. But if you have filed for bankruptcy, we're still going to be able to help you. But if you have debt and credit issues, come to the program first. Do not just jump because someone told you to file for bankruptcy. Because you want to be careful of the strategy that you're taking, because it can prolong the process for you to be able to build generational wealth. Okay? All right, next question.
Is NYC one of the 49 states where this program will apply to?
What's the only 50? What's the only
New York? Seriously, New York. It's coming though.
Okay, New York is the 50th state.
It's coming though.
Wow, what are the odds, George?
But Jamal, we have advocate lawyers in New York.
So
okay, but we do have lawyers, so we can prepare you, but we will be licensed to give mortgages in New York by the end of the year.
Ideally by the end of the year.
Ideally by the end of the year.
But Debt Cleanse is licensed there right now.
Right.
So we can start doing the work right
now.
now.
So everybody can come in and start getting prepared, but we'll be licensed to fund in New York over the next couple months. Dang, that was a 50th state. Wow. All right, what's the next?
Is there a fee to participate in this program?
There is not a fee to come into My Turn to Own program. When we bring you a part of the My Turn to Own initiative, we're going to analyze where you're at. So, for example, say that you meet all the criteria and you have income, no matter what it is. You have the credit. Say you got a 630, a 640. You're meeting all of the, you're meeting the criteria. Even if you got a 620, you're meeting the criteria. Then we're able to say, okay, well, looking at where you are, and we did a soft credit pull, we don't want to hurt your credit, you may be ready. We can qualify you for $80,000, say. And then we'll move you over to get qualified and then put you with a realtor. And then the only payment that you'll have is your commission on your realtor at the end of closing. And that doesn't happen until you close on the house. Your realtor get a little commission for helping you find the house. So there is no payment in that process. But if there is a program like Debt Cleanse, and I'll pass it on over. Go ahead.
We are Debt Cleanse. We're the credit remediation portion of the HP 75 program. What we do, we actually, once you call us, I would be your first point of contact. But when we call, we pair you up, we match you up with an advocate attorney. We do have a fee, it's only $29.99 a month. So, and it's very affordable. They do the credit remediation portion. So if you have negative items on your credit report, or if you have anything like that, you would speak with the attorney. You'd have unlimited consultations with the attorney every month. And one of the things that I like about the program is that it's very simple. It is easily accessible. We do have several phone numbers that you can use to give us a call. One of the things I'd like to stress is that the idea is there's so much fear where our credit is concerned. But I want everybody to know that you do not have to be afraid. Don't let what you think might be a limitation prevent you from giving us a call. It is everybody's, just like we were saying, all hands on deck, it's everybody's pleasure to service you, to see everybody become a homeowner. And credit is really important, so we really would love to hear you, to speak with you. Did you have a question? Oh, okay, okay. Anyone have a question?
Also, I wanted to mention that we will generate your credit report, and you'll get a 3-bureau credit report, and you'll get to see your credit score, which is so important. You will actually get to see it in real time. So that's important. Also, it's a 30-day free trial, so you must take full advantage, and we're here with you every step of the way on your pathway to becoming a homeowner.
All right.
Hey, Jamal, can I add one more quick note on that? So actually, what's not important is your credit score. What is important is what's on your credit report.
Yep.
And we will teach you how to own and understand your credit report as well as anybody else. And then dispute those things that are inaccurate. And if they don't go away, then do whatever we have to do to get them to go away. So it's not, the credit score is a moment in time.
Right.
A credit report is a moment in time. What we need to do is make the moment in time when you apply for your mortgage show that you have the credit score that's right. The way you do that is by taking on each and every line on that report. And that's the first thing that an advocate attorney's lawyer will do in your first consultation, either as a member of Debt Cleanse or through this program.
All right, so if you are somebody with credit issues, you'll be partnered with Debt Cleanse and an attorney automatically. Right now, if you sign up today, it's a 30-day free trial. And it's $29 a month. Like, there are other organizations that do this, I don't want to mention their names, who really don't do the real work needed to be done. And this is just so you can have some skin in the game. You are investing in your future. So if you got a credit, if you have credit problems, you'll have your own attorney. You'll have be able to get your credit reports, your unlimited consultations with the attorney, and be able to fix your credit and get to where you need to be. Any question from the audience? Go ahead.
Yeah, one of my streamers said, which banks are involved to provide loans to homeowners?
Good question. I'll pass it over to the CEO of AHP Mortgage Direct.
Sure. So we, right now, the loans will be originated through AHP Mortgage Direct, which is a mortgage banker, which basically will make the loan, they'll fund the loan, and then they resell those loans. The majority of those loans today get resold and end up in the hands of Freddie Mac, which is a government-sponsored enterprise. Some of them also get sold to banks. There are banks who want to buy these to get Community Reinvestment Act credits. So, but right now they go through HP Mortgage Direct, which is a licensed mortgage banker. So, but they could end up in the hands of a bank, but most likely they'll end up at Freddie Mac.
Let's speak with those terms on if it does get sold.
If it does get sold, so the terms, whatever today if we originated a loan, most of them are 30 years, interest rate around 3% or even a little bit less, it's fixed rate for 30 years. Though, and those loans, I mean, even though they get sold, and the reality is loans do get sold many a times, frequently, but the terms stay the same the whole way through.
All right, so this is a way to hold accountable other banks, because say for example, we funded a loan for one of you for $150,000, and Chase bought, I'm using Chase for a real example, and Chase bought a bunch of loans from AHP Mortgage Direct. The great thing is they can't change the terms of those loans. So regardless, if it's a 30-year mortgage on a $50,000 home at 3%, that will not change. So that's just a back-end game that the banks like to do so that they can meet the CRA and say, oh, we are investing in the neighborhoods because we just bought some loans from people who live in these neighborhoods when they really didn't want to give them in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of holding them accountable too. Go ahead, Mark.
But they answered it.
Answer? Okay, good.
I have one here.
Go ahead.
If you already found the home, but want to go through you guys for the mortgage, how would that work? Will we still need a realtor?
Well, you'll answer. Go ahead.
I mean, sure, so to be clear, some of you may have already found a home, you may already have good credit, we're presenting a suite of tools that you can use, and so if you need a realtor, we have realtors that can help, but if you already have a realtor, no problem, you can use whoever you have. Realtors that come to us and say, hey, I have a client, but they have some credit issues, can you help them? Or they're trying to buy a really low, a $30,000 home, can you make them a mortgage? So whatever you need, you don't have to need everything, you may just need one thing. So whatever you need, we're gonna try and help you with. Because the reality is, there may be 5 things that you need, or 5 to 10 things that you need, steps that you need on the pathway, but you may have got a 9, you just need that final one.
Or you may have all of them, and it's just time for you to get approved. All right? So no matter where you are, we're going to help you along the way. Go ahead.
So let's say your credit score is a little low, and you got some blemishes. So say it's not a lot of blemishes, and you clean that up. So what's the waiting period on that?
The waiting,
so you,
be specific, the waiting period with, if you went to...
time to raise the score, right?
Right.
But if you got like maybe a couple of blemishes on your credit that really don't affect, I mean,
well, so here's the thing.
So say you owe $1,000 and that's sitting on your credit, it's just messing up your credit.
Right.
It's $1,000. Can you pay that $1,000 and go buy a home, or do you have to wait until you build your credit score up?
So let me say this. Every person, let me just make clear, my chief of staff want this, but let me make clear that every person credit is different. There's no way to say yay or nay or what you can do because everything is different, the company, the payment, so it's an individualized moment. It's a moment where if you go to Debt Cleanse, they'll be able to look and see what you have to do, and this is what you need to do. The attorney will look and say, this is what we need to do. Or it may be as simple as pay your credit cards down, and then you're gonna be good. But whatever the situation is, it have to be looked at on an individual basis.
And Jamal, let me add one more really important point on this. It's important that not only that we work with you to correct your credit score and your credit and the credit record, but we empower you to continue to do that going forward. We're going to empower you. And by the way, when we talked a little bit about the other companies that do credit repair, we sue those guys a lot. Okay? So don't be shy and don't be embarrassed to tell us the things that have happened and the things you've tried in the past. Because oftentimes we can sue them, get them some money to pay that $1,000 debt or to pay your down payment by suing the guy that screwed you trying to correct your credit last time. So that's what we can do and empower you so that you are going to be a good consumer in the future. And you'll know when somebody's taking advantage of you.
I'll be good and not mention some of the people that need to be sued.
Yes.
All right. My battery. Did you want to touch on that at all? All right. Anybody else in the audience? Test one. Anybody else in the audience? Go ahead.
Okay, I know you explained that you all deal with Freddie Mac.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and different banks. But do you all deal with NHS and NACA also?
100%. We can partner with.
Actually, so NACA is a good program. It's a nonprofit program that has similar goals. So we don't work directly with them. We wouldn't originally. They would broker loans directly through NACA. So we wouldn't. A loan that you originated through this program would not, at this point, end up at NACA.
Okay.
But if NACA was a better deal for you, your lawyer's going to tell you that.
100%.
Okay. So it's not about it's about getting the best outcome for you, because we think that's for our law firm, for our mortgage company, for Debt Cleanse. It's about getting the best result for you, and that's the business model we want to try to pursue.
And so,
I would say ideally, over time, there's more lenders, there's more real estate companies, there's more others who join the mission who want to help. It's not just about generating business for one mortgage company or one law firm. It's I expect, like you mentioned, home inspectors. There'll be others, we hope, that we expect that will say, hey, this is a mission, these are values and a mission that we share, and we want to participate. So we hope there'll be
for everybody. And we know that there are organizations who do this type of work, or there are organizations that offer down payment assistance, or we want to work with everybody. And if this is not the program for you, or you know, there's a direction or strategy that's better, we'll put you on that strategy, or on that path.
And you know, another thing I want to share as well is, one thing I want everyone to understand is, some companies are in the business of just selling you mortgages. We're in the business of building people. And one thing that I love about this program is, even though if you go to another company for certain situations, we still have corner classes, Zoom calls, and training programs to help you with a mindset of an owner looks like. Take advantage of this full program to the best of your ability. Spread the word, get it out there. I've been an investor, just on this panel is so much where wealth and knowledge is concerned. I've been a real estate investor for 15 plus years. So during our corner classes, we don't teach you how to purchase a home like a first-time home buyer. We teach you how to purchase a home like an investor. Because I want to make sure with this home that you're buying to live in, that you have equity in this home, that you've positioned yourself appropriately, where when you do put your down payment down, you're not broke. And then you transition into the home and you can barely pay the first mortgage payment on it. So we have, like I said, once again, we have corner classes that we'll be conducting. We have weekly Zoom, once again, free of charge. But more than anything, you can tap into a pool of wealth where knowledge is concerned. And that's the best advice I can give everyone.
Free game. Let me hear y'all say free game. Free game. Free game.
Free game.
Starting today, we're about to unleash this movement all over the state of Illinois. Then we're going to have to, Mark said we got to get to Ohio. Hurry up and get to Ohio. And we're going to start building and going state to state and building our team out. And so we need as many folks as possible. It's an all hands on deck effort for real. But one thing that we will be doing consistently is educating.
Yeah.
Social media, tours, classes. I don't care if you just like coming to see us just to hear us, to just hear it again. Yeah. Just so you can get it. It's going to be free. Come join us on the tour. Watch out, we're going to be posting videos saying what, you know, defining things and showing you how to do things. It's free. So even if you don't come to this program and you take that information and go do it your own way, that is fine with us. We want to increase this home ownership rate. What he said, I hope y'all caught it, is we're not in the business of selling mortgages. We are in the business of building people. Can we clap it up for that? For real. Y'all know me. Y'all know I ain't out here selling no mortgages. I'm out here building my people. All y'all, no matter where you come from, no matter who you are, no matter what community, no matter your race, we're going to build you up. All right? I got a question all the way in the back. Now, come on. Give me a question.
I was just wondering, I know he had said something about that there was going to be, that they do like group clubs and like the different, you know, meetings and stuff.
Yep.
For the mindset of a homeowner. I was wondering, like, how do you keep up with everything that's happening? Like, where do I keep up?
Good question. So you can either, if you fill out any form on the website, you're automatically going to be in our database. So that's number one. So you'll get our emails and get our alerts. Go to our Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, My Turn to Own Shop. All right? So you'll be able to find My Turn to Own on all social media networks. All social media platforms. And so follow us and keep up with us on social media. If you fill out the form, you're going to be in the database and get our alerts, and we're going to send you emails and say, hey, we got a class coming up this Friday, or hey, we got a tour, RSVP to get on the bus with us and just go. Yeah, I want everybody in here
to get on one of our tours starting in September. Everybody, okay? Now what that is y'all simply just gonna come, get on the bus, and we're gonna go look at houses on the market. And we're gonna say this house right here, everybody can get off and say, hey, this house is $120,000. This is what, man, all you gotta do is have this income. We're gonna show you the strategy of getting the home by going straight to the home. And then we're gonna we need some more home inspectors. This is why I'm saying everybody hands on deck. We want them home inspectors on the tour to say, all right, well look, this roof is this, or this is. So you probably put in a bid and get it for $10,000 cheaper. We need realtors. All of the people that play a part in these tours, this is important. We're taking you straight to the home just to show you what you should be looking for in a home. Free game. Now I'm thinking about charging y'all a ticket price for this tour. Hey, when you think of that? Hey, free game, y'all. Y'all lucky. All right, clap it up for that, John. Clap it up. Audience question? No, you had a question, right?
You got an answer.
We answered it? Okay.
Someone wants to know, will you be helping felons that are working and want change?
100%. 100%. We will be helping returning citizens. We'll be helping. Let me tell y'all something. Did you say that? Did you used to say that? I think the people who got the best credit are the ones who come home, all right, return back into society. And they don't even understand. Because if they do any time, those creditors and things of that sort start falling off their credit. If they got out and got a job, we can put them in a home. You know what I'm saying? Folks with any income, this don't bar you from getting a home because of your situation, whether you went to jail or whatever the situation is. We're gonna get you in a home regardless. All right? And some people just might not even know that they can own a home. And so that's where the education comes. Just like some people don't know their credit score. Everybody in here know their credit score? All right. Some people don't know their credit score. Who using Credit Karma here? Don't use Credit Karma no more. So I need y'all to really get some apps that really tell you y'all real credit score. And really tell y'all exactly what's on your credit. Question? Okay, go ahead.
It says, is the program also willing to mentor and train Black individuals that want to join real estate and make a difference in the community?
All right, are we willing to train folks who want to become or get in the real estate game? Most definitely. That's what this is about. This is our classes and everything. Just like he told us, we're not trying to teach you just how to become a homeowner. We really try to teach you strategy because it really is an investment. Even if you live in a home, it's an investment. All right? So we're going to be training folks, and that's why our realtors are so important. If we can get an army of realtors, that'll be the fellowship to start bringing folks in and teaching them real estate and bringing them in the real estate game. Going and putting them in and getting a license. Right? This is what we have to do. No matter if you're in real estate, even folks who want to become loan officers. I will hire you. I'm telling you. You want to become a loan officer and you're in the finance field, whatever the case is, we're going to hire you and we're going to let you intern while you working and studying and getting your license.
That's awesome. So can you explain the difference from owning a home and a co-op?
I don't know that many co-ops in Illinois. There may be a few. I know there's a lot in New York City, for instance. So co-ops, it's not too much different than a condominium type situation, except that you own a stock certificate that entitles you to occupy a particular unit. So we can assist. It is a little bit more work with a co-op, but yes, we reach out, we can assist.
So no matter what you buy, co-ops, condos, homes, y'all want a 2-flat, live in one, rent the other one, 3-unit, 4-unit, whatever. It's your turn to own it. Let's do it, y'all. Thank you guys, everybody, for being here. It's your turn to own. Yeah, it's just that easy. Let's do it, guys. And real quick, clap it up for all of my team members too, who've done some great work. Mark Dan, George Newberry, Donathan Davis, Donna, Daniel, Allianz, Sarah, everybody, all of y'all who have done some great work. All hands on deck, y'all. All hands on deck.